Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I am going to be talking about the 6th and final issue of Wacky Raceland from 2016. Now, if you haven't seen my previous reviews of issues 1 through 5, I'll have links for them in the description box. So this issue is written by Ken Pontac, with art and cover art by Leandro Manco. The colors are by Marina Sanzone, and there is a variant cover by Cully Hamner. Now, the main cover is better than the variant cover, but in this case I didn't really think either one was all that interesting. They're okay. The main cover shows the creepy coop, at least this version of it, and the variant cover shows the Red Baron. So we'll go ahead and start off on the first page, and it's picking up where the last issue left off. So the racers were fleeing from some centipedes and evil nanites, and they get to the facility called the Butcher Shop. So the Butcher Shop is where the announcer is housed, but we don't realize that yet. So they go there, and it's revealed that one of them, Professor Pending, knows the codes to get into the place, so they are able to figure out that he was involved. So they're really upset and they want to kill him. In fact, this guy says, "Now we get to kill you," but they say, "Hurry and close the doors," because he has the codes to close the doors as well. So they close the doors and keep all the monsters out, and then you can see Dick Dastardly hits him. So they're all really mad because he was involved in setting up them being in the races. So he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to my wife." So you see this giant brain up on a pedestal. So this sentient brain is the announcer who's been announcing the races and set everything up in the previous issues. So we get this big scene where they're all the racers are there and they're looking at her, the brain. So then she starts talking to the professor, and he left without saying goodbye, so she's all upset. And so she flashes some information into all of the racers' minds. So then we get this page, which is backstory, and it shows her before, when she was a regular human, and the professor, and they're working in this lab, and they're talking to some people on the screen. And so what they have been working on in this lab is weather control patterns that can turn anywhere into a drought, and they also created those nanites that feed on human flesh. So they were up to all kinds of evil stuff. And they also create this army of clones, which the Anthill mob is a part of. And anyways, everything goes bad, as you would expect. So the Neanderthals and the animals that have been genetically modified and stuff all break out and get loose. And then the evil brain, the scientist, was injured in that escape when all those guys escaped. So then she gets just her brain put in a jar, and her and the professor are talking and stuff, and she decides that she's going to go ahead and just destroy the world, which then we see a few pages of, and that's why everything was so desolate and ruined in the previous issues. Basically, she destroyed the world because she was able to control all that, the computer systems, and she unleashed all kinds of mutants and had all those nanites and stuff. So it's pretty horrible. But when the professor was about to leave her at this time, he was able to program in a way for her to set up the races. So I guess the premise was he wanted these people who were able to survive death races to all band together to fight this evil brain. So then that's what happens on the next several pages. The cars and the racers are all attacking, and the brain is retaliating. So then it turns out the professor has a way for all of the cars to merge into one, which is like a transformer. But in this, they call it the Wacky Race Bot. And when I read that, I was just thinking, oh man, I forgot this was based on Wacky Races, because it's so far removed from that cartoon at this point. Anyways, it's totally insane. So they send the robot, and it's a little chaotic and hard to see what's going on, but he fights the brain monster for the course of a few pages, and they manage to get kind of inside the brain, and they place a bomb in there and blow her up. So then they all drive away, and they get outside, and they talk a little bit, and it turns out the professor has escaped, so he's not with them anymore. And they look on the map and find where the nearest bar is, and they all say, "Race you there," and take off. So then on the last page, we see the professor looking at them in the distance, looking at them with binoculars or something, and he says, "Good riddance," and he says, they served their purpose, but now it's over. But then we see that there is a brain thing attached to the back of his head, and it says "The End" with a question mark. So that's how it ends. That was the final issue. I'm pretty sure originally they intended for this series to be longer, but they did give it some sort of a conclusion, so that's good at least. I wasn't really expecting for there to be such a concise conclusion. I mean, they definitely left it open to continue, but they seemingly blew up the brain, although it's a little weird that I guess it's now attached to the professor. Overall, it was a very weird series. It was good in some ways. I mean, I read all the issues and felt compelled to do so. So there's something about them that's interesting. I still think mostly, though, I was just intrigued by the idea, kind of these wacky races meets Mad Max sort of thing, but it was so over the top and like almost everyone in the world was dead and stuff. I don't know, it's pretty crazy. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this series. What did you think of the story? What did you think of the art? And what did you think about the coloring and all that? Do you think it would have been good if it had more issues? And what did you think about how it ended? Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe, and thank you for being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.